Here.
Here. Here.
Here.
Here. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. Sorry about that. Before we stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance, I want to say thank you so very much to all the scholars, our educators, our parents who came out to join us this evening for the meeting. It is so good to see everybody here and to see all the kids. We are so excited to hear all the presentations this evening. So with that, we're going to go ahead and stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody may be seated.
Good voice.
Oh, it's so nice to have all these folks here. All right, if we're going to move to item 1.3. If we can have a motion on the floor to approve tonight's agenda.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept item 1.3, which is the approval of the agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Before we move any further, just making sure there's no additions or deletions from the agenda.
No additions or deletions.
All right. Well, it's been moved and properly seconded. Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Motion passes 5-0. Oh. All right. Next on the agenda is item 1.4, and we need to approve the meeting minutes for the regular meeting, December 14th, 2022. May I please have a motion on the floor?
Madam Chair, I'd like to move on tonight's agenda 1.4, approval of the minutes. And those are the minutes that you had just stated, December 14th, 2022.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion before we ask Dr. Rock to call the roll? All right, hearing none, Dr. Rock, can you go ahead and call the roll?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 5-0. Next on our agenda is item 1.5 is public participation. And at this time, if anybody who is here this evening has completed a public participation card, they will be able to come to the podium and share whatever they wanted to share with us. Dr. Rock, do we have any cards this evening? All right then. Just as a reminder, since everybody is here, if there's anything that you ever want to share with the school board in a public meeting forum, this is the time where you will be able to do that. You can do it in person by completing a public participation card, or there is a link on our district website that allows you to submit one virtually if you are unable to attend, and then we will read it and address it during our next regular board meeting. At this point, I'm going to hand the agenda over to Mr. Jolly, and we're going to begin our presentations.
Yes, good afternoon. Good evening, everyone here today. It's an honor to be here today. We are so pleased to see so many of our scholars today. Today I'm doing double duty, so I am working the computer and also serving as the superintendent. Our people who run our online is not here today. Both of them are out, so I'll be running back and forth. But first up today, I would like to bring up our barber students. If Ms. Rafford can bring up the group, Mr. Rice come up. This group is, tonight the board will consider approving a resolution to send these young people to barber school. We have 5 students who have shown interest in being barbers. The Carrollton Barber School, owned by Mr. Kelly Rice, has been trying to do a partnership with school districts to do barber school. Currently, the Ohio School Board Association does not allow barbering, or it's not part of the curriculum. So we're going to do an outside partnership with Carrollton to allow these young people to do barbering while they're in high school. So tonight, these young men will come up. We have a recent graduate who is enrolled in the school. We have the owner, and we have Ms. Rafford, who's worked very hard to build this partnership to send these young men to barber school, which they'll start in February, if approved tonight. So at this time, I'd just like our two young men are here and our recent graduate just to share. First, I'd like Mr. Rice first to just talk about his school, talk about the components of the program, and then we have the young men discuss why they want to go and why this investment, why they want the board to invest in them. Because basically, this is a scholarship for these young men to go to barber school. All the expense paid for them to attend barber school. At this time, Mr. Rice, if you could just give a little about, yeah, just come up to the mic and just share a little bit about your school and a little bit about the history, how this came together.
So first of all, I'd like to say thanks for giving me the opportunity to talk about our program, and thanks for even considering giving these kids an opportunity to do something that they are really going to enjoy doing. I'm also pleased to see all these beautiful and handsome kids here. That's like refreshing. So really, really good to see that. In terms of who I am, I've been training for over 30 years in this industry. I started when I was 23, 22, 23. I was kind of a kid who didn't really know what I wanted to do. I spent time in college. I spent time kind of doing a lot of different things. But the whole time I was in college and trade school, I was cutting hair in the bathrooms. I was cutting some of my instructors. As a matter of fact, here at Tri-C, I was cutting some of the teachers that I was in class with, kind of helped me with some of my grades, you know. So I really, really do enjoy what I'm doing. It's a lot of fun, and I just like to share because I get to see a lot of success from my prior students in terms of some of the things that they have accomplished. Some of my students have been featured nationally. This young man right here has been featured internationally. Right now, he's in one of our industry trade books as one of the pilot programs for a clipper company called Wall. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that program or that company, but he is one of, and he's one of your graduates. He's one of the kids that is being featured internationally. They have a magazine that they're talking about him and the program that he's in. So it's really exciting to see that. In terms of what our program entails or the components of our program, we have 5 different levels of our program. Each one will focus on different things. We'll focus on the book, so they have to learn this book cover to cover. Then from there, they'll learn a lot of different services outside of just cutting hair, because we know the industry changes and styles change, you know. So they'll learn a lot of different services, styles. They'll learn things from color to cutting to bleaching, eyebrow arches, just a lot of different stuff. They'll get into some other self-study things that will enhance their ability when they get into the field. And then finally, there is a financial piece that we go through with them where we teach them about just personal finance, business finance, credit, owning the shop and all the responsibilities in owning the shop. And a lot of things that I feel not only translate to business ownership, but also to their personal life. So that is kind of in a nutshell, without taking a whole lot of time, what our program will be doing for them, and to give these young men a gateway early is super important. I think you guys are taking like a forward step outside of other districts that I've worked with. We always talk about doing it. You guys are really doing it, and it makes a lot of sense. And it speaks to who you guys are as a district. So thanks for the time, and I'll let them do it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Come on, B.
All right, good evening. My name is Eric. Excuse me, I'm a little nervous. I'm not used to talking to y'all, but one reason why I'm really interested in this program is because like it gives me another outlook. Like me growing up as a kid, all I do was play sports. But now as I'm starting to grow older and I see myself really becoming a young man, like sports not really as much of the interest as it once was. But with barber, and if I get the opportunity to do this, like I like doing this. Like it's going to show me different outlooks at how to meet new people, other people that I'm not used to seeing. All of that, like I just want to experience new connections and different things. Because I wanted to do hair, but we didn't have this program, and they was gonna make me do cosmetology. And cosmetology not really my experience, but if we used to do this, it just give me a different outlook, a great opportunity. I feel like to do this program. So thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. My name's Jermaine Dozier. I feel like that barber is just like my passion. I like to do it. It'll keep me focused. I'm finishing school, learning new things, not having to work for other people, owning my own shop. I would like to own my own shop one day. And it's just like what I really want to do. It's like what I always wanted to do. I feel like that deep down the side, I feel like I can really do this. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And yes, you can.
Hello, my name is Deshaun Highsmith. One reason I really wanted to do this because, as he said before, it's like meeting new people. So I feel like it helps you better as a communicator. Like, 'cause some people they don't like to speak to new people or speak aloud in front of people. So I feel like you could do that, and it's a good way to make fast money if you need money in your pocket. 'Cause I like to make money. And another thing is, like, when I was growing up, I always seen it around me. So I just felt like it was something that was in me I should do. And I like own my own shop and business.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
How y'all doing?
Hi,
doing?
how are you?
So I feel like I want it because not only I watch my uncle do it, but I see how it can affect others. Like it's all about sometimes when you sit in a chair, you get to know the person who you cutting. Like you get to talk to them, you get to know what they want to do in life, and then you get to tell them like other ways or stuff like that can guide them to what they want to do. Or like my uncle used to talk to me, so like that's why I want to go for it. My uncle used to talk to me. I wasn't always on track, but like I got in track. I got on track about probably ending that sophomore year, I probably say. And then I locked in, and I started noticing like what path I want to get into, what career I want to do. So I want my barber career, and then I want to go back to school, get my CDL, and then come back to Warrensville and explain what I did.
We're glad to
That's
have
very
you back.
cool.
Thank
Come on up, graduate.
We got a plan.
Yeah, speak into the mic, people want to hear in the back.
How's everybody doing today?
All right,
you.
young
How
man.
are you?
Well, it feels good to be back into the community, talking to the community, giving back to the community. But going into the school, didn't know what I really wanted to do. I was confused, like, graduated in 2021. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had just lost my mom. Trying to think of like, hey, what can I do to keep going forward to what I could do to make her happy. And then one day I decided to I'm like, I'm about to just go to school. I'm gonna go to barber college. It was always in the back of my mind, but I'm like, all right, let me just really do it. So I joined. I met with Mr. Rice, and he was asking me multiple questions like, what do you see yourself? You see yourself in 10 and 15 years, or what do you want to do when you graduate? I always told him like I want to have my own barbershop and give back to the community. And then he was like, well, if you're really serious about it, I got a scholarship for you. You can take the scholarship from Wall, the Clipper Company. I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. I don't know too much about it, but I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll take it. And then I met with him, and then I had to go through 3 interviews. The first interview was for him, and then the second interview was with the Wall. And then after that, it was just like, all right, like you got it. Then I had to go for a 3rd interview, but the interview wasn't an interview; it was our actual scholarship being handed to us. So from there, it was just like, all right, I got a purpose. Like this is my purpose in life, and now I'm out with this purpose. I know I have to give back to the community. Like coming from Warrensville, I know like how our community is. I used to have fireworks, always had the carnival going on, and within our industry, this is how we're gonna give back to our community and making our community stronger. With these 2, 3, 4 with these four getting a scholarship, it's gonna be like, you know, they can be able to give back to the community. And on top of that, like being young, coming from like, you know, being in high school, now starting to branch off into the adult world, you start seeing stuff as being real. So it's like, you know, we can start really seeing like, all right, you know, this is where we need to be. You know, I'm kind of skipping around and stuff, kind of. But honestly, going into the school, it molded me into like a stronger, better person. You know, it made me realize like, all right, like I gotta act a certain way in this type of scenery. You know, I be like this in this type of scenery and show more respect to our elderly, give back to our community, like and these little children, like, you know, we see these children every time they come inside of our schools. Seeing them smile be like it'd be so amazing. Like they could be going through the worst day, they could be almost getting cussed out by their mom in the morning, and they sit in your barber chair and it just makes their day. You know, being around other people, it makes their day because you never know what they're going through. You know, me personally, I'm going through a lot. You know, but going into every day I go inside the school, I leave her with a smile, or I try to lead her with a smile, or if somebody having a bad day, I try to make them have a better day. But honestly, barber really changed my life, and that's gonna change their life too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Miss Rapper, say something real quick.
I just really thank you for this opportunity. This all came about because of Eric Witt's mom. But he was interested, but he didn't want to do the cosmetology piece. So I started going down to state cosmetology board meetings in Columbus, reaching out to the people that I knew, Mr. Rice, Nicole Cumberland, and the owner, Paul Mitchell, and seeing what we could do for these kids. I started reaching out to legislators in Columbus, and they were telling me about, you know, revising the Ohio Revised Code, but it hasn't happened yet. And this is an opportunity for our kids to do something and be something. And why should they have to wait? You know, if we can make this happen for them, I would love it. And they're very passionate. They have great follow through. We have our little messages and we talk, and they're here. One young man couldn't make it, but he's definitely committed. So I'm excited for this opportunity. I want to thank every last one of you. Thank you, Mr. Jolly.
Thank you.
Board, y'all, do you have any questions?
Questions for it?
I don't have any questions. Just a comment. I think that what you guys want to do and what you will do, because I feel like this is going to pass. It's an amazing opportunity for you. I think one of you even said it. You know, I mean, it was you talked about how you're giving back to the community. You become a bigger part of the community. Not only are you a barber, but I remember my son's barber was a social worker. He was a comedian. He was a guidance counselor. So you get the opportunity to be so much more. And I hope you'll see the impact that you're going to have on people's lives. So I wish you all the best. And we're really excited to see what happens. You're welcome.
It is just so refreshing to me. And the reason why is because I'm looking at 5 young men who already has goals in life, that you know what you want to do. And all you got to do is do it. It's just simple as that. Do it. Your heart is there. Your determination seems to be there. So go for it. You know, it's nothing like, as my son would always say, Mom, it's nothing like owning your own. And that's a true statement. He owns his own business. I'm proud of him. He does well. But he has a degree in computer science. But he does real estate. And he's excellent at it. But that's where his heart is. And that's what I'm saying. From listening to you guys, I see the motivation. I see the love. I see the desire. And I see your goals. So just stay focused. That's all I'm asking. Stay focused. Know where you're headed and go there. The only person that can stop you is you.
Just like to say, Madam Chair, I resonate with these children. In 8th grade, I was cutting hair. So I was on the football team, but I cut all of the football players' hair in Warrensville. So I see where you're going. I took my 2 checks and bought me it's 149 silver wall, that silver one. That was my first wall in 1977. I had a wall and I cut everybody's hair because I had to cut my hair. I didn't want to spend that money, so I want to learn how to cut my own hair. But I'm proud of y'all, man. Go on and do it. I did the same.
Madam Chair, I'd like to thank Ms. Radford, Mr. Rice, Mr. Jolly for bringing this program, to fruition and putting this in front of us. And I'm thanking y'all for them because they may not even know that you are putting these young men in a position to win. you are setting them up for like success from here, just going forward. They're going to leave high school with a career. So I want to thank all of you for bringing this to the program. Bringing this program to our attention. Thank you.
I'm not going to belabor the point. I think each of my peers has spoken exactly what I'm feeling. Just thank you. Thank you to both. And you guys, you have this. Go forth and prosper. Thank you, though, for coming tonight.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next up, we'll have our human resource, Mrs. Hunt, and her team will come up for their presentation.
So when
And I
they're
just
ready.
want to just share with the community how much the board invests in our students. We're working on a CDL program next. So next up, we'll have a CDL program for our high school students. That's what we're working on next. So whatever our students need, we're going to make sure that they have it. All right, next up, Ms. Hunt.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We are excited to be here, to be able to talk with you guys about some of the things that we are currently working on or have been working on in the Human Resources Department. I don't know if everyone has had the opportunity of meeting Jonte Johnson. She joined our team in February of 2022, so she's just going on a year now. But we have definitely, she's getting acclimated. We are excited to have her on our team. Okay.
He said, hold on a second.
Yeah, he's coming.
He wearing two
He's
hats.
doing double duty tonight.
Right.
The Human Resources Department. We are HR is the central source of information and multiple resources for our school district and all of our employees. We service about approximately 320 employees from the start of their employment journey until the very end of their employment journey. So from the time that they are submitted to the board for approval, they have completed tons of paperwork and all of the other requirements that are pertinent to their role, whether that is licensure, background checks. Everyone that is here has to complete a background check. So we ensure that that happens. But during the course of the employment, other things happen. Marriage, people have babies, there's benefit changes, there's contractual obligations, people purchase homes, and some of them even require medical attention. But throughout all of those needs, HR is there every step of the way. Okay, so we offer we offer tons of employee offerings.
But you need to go back.
And we need them to go back. We encourage our staff members to take advantage of all of the programs and different initiatives that are offered. There we go. Number 2. Thank you. And we take the time to recognize employees and offer programs that will strengthen our workforce. And sometimes the smallest thing can go a long way. And we pride ourselves on our fast response time in assisting employees with whatever their daily needs and creating processes and procedures that will help everyone work more efficiently and effectively in our district.
Okay. So as an HR team, we developed an informational welcome package for our expecting team members. For the arrival of their little ones. The maternity packet includes information on how to add newborns to your health insurance, Social Security card requests, and dependent withholding for federal and state taxes. So in addition to the information package, we also put together a Tiny Tiger package that will actually be mailed to the expecting families. And in the package, you'll find the little Warrensville Heights City School District birth certificate welcome letter, a little onesie, little tiger onesie, and a little tiger, little stuffed animal. So as a department, we are utilizing Google Gmail to send personal birthday emails. These birthday wishes are sent directly from Superintendent Jolly's email account, and the HR department is responsible for managing the employee birthday list.
All right, this year, 2022-23, all of our new hires were able to take a part in the reception. But we also invited those 2021-22 new hires because there were kind of an influx of COVID numbers still. We weren't able to do it. But this year, we were able to host this holiday reception where all of our employees were able to come in, let their hair down for a moment, connect with other new hires that started with them they hadn't seen since August because they're in another building. And then were also able to connect with HR and the superintendent. And so one of the employees was so thankful for this event. She sent a message back, and I'm going to read it to you. Thank you so much for the wonderful holiday reception for new hires yesterday. That was so kind and thoughtful. It was nice to hit pause for a moment and chat with other teachers. We need to remember we are all in this together. Thank you for the delicious food as well. I am still thinking about those salmon sliders. I hope you both have a wonderful break. Thank you for going above and beyond to make me feel part of this amazing Warrensville family. And so we did that, and I said we have to continue this tradition because it just went over well. We were able to sit down right in this room, have a bite to eat, and just have a good chat with our newly hired employees, check in with them to make sure that they have everything they need so they are successful in their journey here with Warrensville Heights City Schools. We even popped a couple of bottles. You'll see in that video. It was juice. It was juice.
Sure it was.
Okay. One other thing we do here is focus on health and wellness initiatives. So many of you have taken a part of this. I know I've seen Mr. Freeman many a times at one of our wellness events. We do on-site flu clinics. We offer financial wellness. We've had yoga, cardio, line dancing, biometric screening, on-site COVID tests, and we still have COVID tests for members that can't get into their doctor's office or to a pharmacy to grab one. We have them free at employees' disposal. We offered health challenges and dump your plump contests over the years, hand and chair massages, sound therapy, healthy snacks, meal replacement drinks, and that is just to name a few. We try to design experience to contribute to a positive and meaningful work environment because we know that if our workforce is healthy, our attendance rates improve. And a couple of our partnerships, we just signed up with AAA membership. Thank you, Mr. Freeman, for that plug. And so they will be coming out offering some discounted memberships to all of our employees. We offer Weight Watchers through Medical Mutual, YMCA membership, Tickets at Work. Tickets at Work is a program where our employees are able to go in, log in. They want to buy movie tickets, theme park tickets, concert tickets. They are there and they are at a discounted rate for our employees. We offer Impact, which is our employee assistance program. They can assist employees with problems such as stress, anxiety, child care, elder care, marital concerns, substance abuse. There's a wide gamut of things that Impact takes the weight off of our shoulders, and we can refer employees to Impact programs to get the help that they need. We offer Aflac benefits, Allstate benefits, Sam's Club discounted membership. We just had them out a couple of months ago to give our employees a discounted rate on their memberships. We offer tons of partnerships and memberships discounted so that our employees feel as though that they get plenty of benefits from Warrensville Heights City School District. Yep, always looking for more, so send them our way. Yep.
Okay, so these are some things that are in progress, programs and things that we're working on now, are continuing to work on. Okay, so our on-base system is a digitalized records system for retention and retrieval. This allows for more immediate access to employee files. This is everything from new hire paperwork to beneficiary information, disciplinary files, evaluation, so on and so forth. So our human resource information system, our HRIS system that we employ is PeopleWorks, and we're using it now to start electronic signatures. And I have to thank Ms. Mitchell and Dr. Ross because they have been helping us to get this off the ground and actually going to some training. So we're still ongoing with that. We're also using the system to issue license renewal notifications to our certificated employees. So these are automated reminders that go out at when you are 180 days outside of your renewal time, and then again at 90 days, I think it's 60 days, 30 days, 15 days, you get the idea, so on and so forth, until it is renewed, and then you'll be removed from the list. It just cuts down on things that we have to manually do. In the same way, we do offer those or do that same kind of notification for our PCI and SCI notifications. So we've updated our HR department information on the website. This is in collaboration with the communications department as well. So our tuition reimbursement form and then our incident report, these are all files that you can now fill out online and submit completely off. You don't have to print. I am very proud of our monthly new hire orientation. This catches those new employees who are hired this year, much like I was. And we focus mainly on frontline and ASOP training, the district attendance policies and procedures. We also like to work with our public school works training and expectations. And just what as a district we expect from our new employees, and also to hear what they expect from us as employers. We also invite our security director, Mr. Loretz, to come discuss safety and security protocols as well.
I think it was Ms. Gator a couple of years back, you had asked during the board presentation, how do we catch those employees that are hired mid-year after we do the big one back in August? And so now we do this monthly to make sure we catch everyone, even if somebody is being reclassified from one role to another. We invite them because they may not know what it is to go into ASOP or never even utilize ASOP. Maybe they were a substitute and then they got reclassified to a full-time employee. They don't know how to utilize our system. And so it makes everything easier for us. And with our HRIS system, I remember when I came in the door 8 years ago, we had spreadsheets everywhere. There was a different spreadsheet for everything we needed. And so allowing us to make that purchase, that investment into HRIS system, it makes life much more seamless when we can print contracts out from the system, go through, input the data, and just get them right out of it. It makes our lives much more seamless. Yep. Tracking life. Yep. All right, recruitment and retention. And so we're constantly recruiting and making connections with colleges and universities to create a pipeline of applicants. And so we just created this year in 2022-23 school year. We have a school-based onboarding team, and that is because of the TSL grant. And so with those school-based onboarding teams, they are going to go out and support the newest members of our school community through school-based, through the teams. They're going to welcome, connect, and support new teachers to their schools so that the new hires feel a sense of belonging and connectedness. And then they'll even sit on interviews if we have to interview during those summer months. They'll be a part of that. And so that new hire has that connection with someone when they walk in the door, because it can be overwhelming when we start with a new employee. And then we just started our HR recruitment campaign. And so we've worked closely with our communications department. And we just did this video last Thursday and Friday. We did a couple of days of taping. And so during that campaign, it'll be used on all of our social media outlets and our website. Staff members were selected that displayed a strong sense of Tiger pride. And then back in November, we surveyed our entire district. It was an employee satisfaction survey. And some of the responses that we had to capture today that I'm going to share with you is the progress that WHCSD is making each year and the commitment Mr. Jolly has to making it happen. WHCSD is a forward-thinking district with a commitment to every student. It is nice working for a district that provides a quality service to the community / students. I also like that there are a large amount of Black professionals within the district. And then here's one more. The direction the district is headed, we have made some amazing growth over the last 6 years, and it is exciting to continue to grow. And so when we received the responses, it was an overwhelmingly positive response. And then Mr. Jolly, if you'll go to the next one. Mr. Jolly, one more. What do Warrensville Heights City School District team members value most about their employees? These were the questions that all of our staff members were asked, and you can see we didn't hit a halfway mark. We got above and beyond on a lot of the markings, benefits and insurance, relationships with colleagues, support from district administrators for their professional growth. And so the survey results speaks volumes to the work that we as a team are doing here in Warrensville Heights City School District to make this place a better place. Any questions?
Are there any questions for it?
One quick, the last one about the survey. So what do you guys do with that information? How are you tracking the data?
So we are using a lot of that information for our retention and recruitment efforts.
Okay.
So that information was key in finding the onboarding team members, just people who showed that exemplary type of process. So it's definitely being used in that way.
No, I think you got it.
I have one quick question. What are you doing to build morale inside the school? Exactly what are we doing?
So we strongly encourage our principals to do things, contests, even perfect attendance, things of that nature. They do that more so on the school level. We can do district-wide contests. We encourage participation, but for the most part, it happens at the school level with the school leader, and they build that morale within. But we put on events. We put on wellness days. We have many contests. We might have a month of perfect attendance, and then the school that gets it may get a catered luncheon or something like that. So we do some things on our end, but it happens more so at the school level.
Okay. Because right now I think we have some fantastic teachers.
We do,
and I really would like to keep them.
That's what we're here.
You know, so
yeah, that's retention. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Sure.
I want to thank you guys for coming this evening. Talent management was something that was important to us. This is my second term, and we've talked about it for 7, 8 years now. And so to see the work that you guys are doing to make sure we're not able to just recruit new talent, we are able to retain talent, because that's critical for the success of the district. Yeah. So thank you for all the work that you guys are doing.
I want to thank you, Kenya, and I want to thank you, Dante, because those actual events you have for the employees, they love it. And you bring different vendors and different foods, and the aerobics, working out, the line dance. I mean, that's good camaraderie for our district.
Yeah,
that is definitely needed. And thank you, Kenya, for explaining the impact. When I got here in 2015, I didn't know what impact was until you showed me the card and how we reach out to our actual employees to help them out in any financial any situations. So, thank you.
Many benefits, and it's free.
Yep. Thank you.
And may I just say, I love the box that you're sending out. That is such a nice touch. So Ms. Mitchell touched on the fact that, you know, talent was one of the big things, but the other thing was culture. And I think that coming in the door, what they're seeing now is an HR department that truly cares about their employees. At least that's what I hope everybody is seeing, because I see the difference that you guys are making as someone who not only worked for the district years ago, but also saw some of the changes. I saw what you stepped into, Kenya, as a new HR director. I remember there was an employee someone that worked in the HR department that actually had to make their own database because there was nothing available. So just kudos to you guys for all the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. All right, next up, we are going to have Warrensville Heights Elementary School. If you come on up, Miss Thompson.
Miss Thompson.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello.
I'm Miss Thompson from Warrensville High School Middle School. I have Miss David, one of my APs, Miss Irvin, another AP, and Miss Mosley, my third AP somewhere around here. But before I get started, I just want to recognize all the handsome, beautiful, gorgeous faces that are here. Today we brought our Kings on a Mission, Kings and the.
All right.
Our Girl Scout ladies, stand up. Our Girl Scouts consist of Brownies, Daisy, Juniors, and a new team, which is the Cadets. We have filter over in the middle school. So I am very excited and proud to have you all here. Thank you so much to the parents who are here as well, because none of this is possible without you. So I appreciate the partnership with allowing the scholars to come. Ladies, you may have a seat. My king, start. I am a king. I am a leader. I am not a follower. Others will follow me. I am king by birth, but I am great by choice. I will always choose to be great. As a king, I will always remember. I can, I will, I must succeed. I am not the orders.
All right.
Huge shout out to Ms. Lewis for pouring into these guys, for Mr. Watson for being there and definitely jumping in and assisting whenever necessary. And it's a lot of other teachers and staff around the building who are also constantly pouring into these guys. Huge kudos and thank you to Ms. Crawford, Ms. Pico, and Dr. Ruth. Those are our Girl Scout leaders. So I appreciate you all. And again, thank you to the parents. I want to start off with our video. And that's going to highlight the things around the building.
Greetings. My name is Shalimar Lewis, and I am the founder of Kings on a Mission. Kings on a Mission was created to promote confidence, pride, respect, and increased achievement amongst African American male scholars here at Warrensville Heights Elementary School. By supporting these students with mentoring, advising, social emotional support, community service, and leadership opportunities, the Kings on a Mission program will provide a safe space for African American male scholars to be successful and thrive in a supportive environment. A few of the key elements of the program include setting personal and academic goals, building leadership skills, engaging in a scholarly community of learners, empowering the members to create a brotherhood of support and encouragement, and encouraging responsibility for self and community. I have had nothing but a pleasure watching these young men thrive so far, and I look forward to all of the wonderful things that they will do in the future. Please stay tuned and watch a few of the activities that the Kings have been involved in so far, and watch and see what's coming next, not just for the Kings. Thank you again for your time. Have a great day.
Kings on a Mission has provided the opportunity for students to show pride in who they are as young black men. They have shown accountability for their behavior, for their work. But one of the big things that they have shown is compassion. The biggest testament to Kings on a Mission is the amount of men that want to join the program.
What I've seen with Kings with a Mission boys is more sense of confidence walking in the classroom and also walking down the hallway. I think them wearing the suit and tie also gives them a sense of positivity and that they play an important part of the fifth grade team.
Kings on a Mission has been very beneficial to the students here, the young men here at Warrensville Elementary. It's just amazing being able to see them flourish and come into their own. They're really taking leadership roles within the building. I see them just flourishing in the classroom. They are taking stock in their education. They are really becoming responsible young black men, and it is a wonderful and beautiful thing to see. I'm just so proud of them.
And as far as my other scholars are concerned, what I'm seeing is just renewed dedication each day to each task that they have at hand. And it's something that, as a teacher, I'm extremely proud of and happy about, because those are the sort of intangibles that I don't have the time in my everyday to really teach. So to have that be a part of what their school life is each day is something that has long-lasting implications.
Being a king is taking a lot of responsibility. I can't do that, but they don't just give this to us. They really have to earn it. Being a king to me means to have respect. Respecting everybody is important. Being a king has taught me to be kind to others and to help people when help is needed.
What does being a king to
Respectful and treat others how I want to be treated.
and when you leave the school, what traits or behavior will you take with you and pass on to others?
Take responsibility in their actions and be respectful. I am a king. I am a leader. I am not a model. Others will follow me. I am a king by birth, but I am great by choice. I will always succeed great. As a king, I will always succeed. I can, I will, I must succeed. I do not have a choice.
So there is a Queens on a Mission that is starting and that is getting up and running, amongst other programs that are in our building that I'll discuss further here. So
I do want to acknowledge real quick that my Kings may have to exit soon because the buses here and parents will be waiting at the school at about 7:30. So it may be a little transition being part in them, but I do want to say thank you all for taking the time out. And the day-to-day things that you do in class, okay? So I already said all those types of things I need to talk about. So thank you. All right.
Mrs.
All right.
Thompson,
So yes.
first off, what is the frequency of their engagement with the program?
So Ms. Lewis is my SEL teacher, so she do like a lot of small groups. When she has like meets that mentoring opportunities where we got kids who can't get along, she'll bring one of the things or put the things in to kind of talk about it. They do meet weekly.
Okay.
And then they do have different activities as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So
Sorry to
lots of
interrupt.
engagement. Ms. Lewis is the SEL teacher, so she's there every day, all day. So anytime there's an opportunity to engage in things and something, then she's definitely calling them to do.
All right.
Thank you.
So Warrensville Heights Elementary School, here is the demographic, if you will. A principal, 3 APs, 2 school counselors, a SEL teacher, culture coaches, school psychologists, kitchen aide, cafe monitors, mental health agencies, school nurses, secretaries, security guards, professionals, teachers, math specialists, literacy specialists, related service provider, and 918 scholars. So on a daily basis, there's over 1,000 people in our beautiful building. So I just wanted to give everybody an overview that we have 918 scholars today, and we have a lot of support routed around our scholars and our staff to educate. So I wanted to kind of hit on my presentation because at Warrensville Heights Elementary School, it's Maxwell and Bloom. So there's some things that we have to take care of for our scholars before we can get to the academic portion. And some of those things include the self-esteem, self-awareness, the love and belonging, the needs, whether that's safety and psychological. So some of the programs that you'll see in this presentation is going to go back to Maslow to make sure that we are taking care of their basic needs so that we can take care of their academic needs. Engagement. In every classroom, we partner with Beachbrook and they provide something called a Peace Corner. And that's something that our teachers have taught our scholars to use if they need a moment. They go to the Peace Corner. The Peace Corner will have a beanbag in it. They'll have like a smiley face or a frown face, different faces they can relate to, some fidgets, a mirror, and then some teachers have gotten extra savvy and added more items in their Peace Corner to kind of give kids a place to go in the classroom to get themselves together so that they can be able to rejoin the class. Our teachers have been provided with handling with peer PD. We do have some people in the building who have went through train the trainer, so they are training other teachers in the building. ACE and trauma PD we delivered last year by Beachbrook. We do have a culturally responsive team in our building, and that's 2 of our a teacher and our 2 psychologists who go through during our staff meetings and talk to our staff about culturally relevant things that we make sure that that's up front in our academics, the videos that we're showing our kids, and our kids relate and see themselves in different things, and then just making them aware of the things we say and we do every day as adults, and how does that relate culturally to our scholars. Our guidance counselors are using Second Step, which is a curriculum that kind of talks about the things that kids are dealing with. It shows videos, anxiety, bullying, feeling good about yourself, self-confidence, and things in those natures. Coming soon to all classrooms, we want to make sure we have something that's called Tiger Talks. And so a lot of teachers, especially in the early elementary grade, kindergarten, first grade, they have a morning meeting, a check-in with the kids, circle time. So we want to see that go up to 5th grade, and then they look different in 4th and 5th grade. So we're going to call it Tiger Talk because it is departmentalized. So it may not only happen in the morning, but the key idea is for the teachers to check in with their scholars the first 3 to 7 minutes of class time. And so once again, that's addressing those needs. Kids want the opportunity to feel heard, to be seen, to discuss
discuss some things or even to say, after class, I'm going to talk to you about something. So we want to tailor those tiger talk the first 3 to 7 minutes of classroom and provide teachers with maybe some sentence starters. We're going to do sentence starters today, so where the kids are running that tiger talk. So that's coming through. Good evening.
Hi.
So as Ms. Confident said, we really wanted to focus on our SEL, or social emotional learning. So twice a month, the Student Wellness Committee, which consists of the principal, the 3 APs, the 2 school counselors, the social worker, the SEL teacher, and the culture coaches, all meet to discuss what's in branch minds, our behavior referrals, to discuss some important issues that have gone on throughout the past 2 weeks, and to see what we can do to move forward. So we decided that we needed to have more groups in the building to make sure that we're focusing on what each individual student is. Obviously, we're not going to reach all 918 students at once, but the goal is to reach as many students as possible and to see if we can start cycling some students out of the groups. So we currently have 8 groups. Our first group is called E4. It's the Encourage, Empower, Engage, and Elevate. We just want to see what our students are doing and how we can move them forward. And that's ran by Coach Shaw. She's focusing on boys and girls K through 5. Ms. Ritter is working with boys and girls grades 2 through 5 on self-love. She has a book that they're doing a book study on. What is self-love, and then how they can have meaningful and secure relationships. Ms. Finch is working with boys and girls 1st grade through 5th grade. Everyone wants to be in this one. This is try new things. Tea group. They're trying new food. They're trying new genres of movies. Just getting out of their shell and trying new things. Ms. Reeves has 2 groups. Her first group is for boys and girls K through 5, and that's a check-in, check-out. So these kiddos just need a quick pulse in the morning, checking in, seeing how everything was the night before, maybe setting them a short goal to work on throughout the day, and then checking in at the end of the day just to see how their day went. She also has a group, currently about 5 students. Through those Tiger Talks, those morning meetings, we found that 5 of our 1st graders have lost a parent. Some recently throughout this school year. So she is Hopeful Hearts, and it is a grieving that she's working with. We do, she's open to having other students included, but right now it's just 1st graders. Mr. Atkinson is working on I Am Powerful. Again, boys and girls K through 5, and these students have, they may have a little bit of different behavior. They may have, a negative attitude. So how can we use this energy, change it to make it purposeful and powerful? And then, as you saw, Ms. Lewis has Teens on the Mission, and coming soon she'll have Teens on the Mission. Ms. Davis? Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
All right then.
I'm going to talk a little bit about our Centers-Based Report Card, which is something that we just rolled out this year. It is for grades kindergarten to 3rd grade. During the 2022-23 school year, the elementary school formed a Standards-Based Report Card team, which was comprised of staff and administrators. The team looked over current standards and other sample standards-based report cards that other districts have used. So in a nutshell, the report card is not just A in English, A in math, or science, but it actually breaks down the standards that we have outlined in our scope and sequence. So our parents can look at the report card and say, hey, my student is having a really hard time with multiplication or division or whatever standard that have those standards that have been chosen for that quarter. The teams work together to pinpoint the standards. They work together to pinpoint assessments, assignments. Everything looks the same across the board. It has been a work in progress, but we're getting a handle on it, and we're finding that it's more intentional to meet the needs of our scholars and our parents if they have questions. And we are going to roll it out for our 4th graders. The plan is to roll it out for the 4th grade next year, next school year, and then 5th grade the following year, 24-25 school year.
So we have an awesome pre-K.
at the elementary school. It is a 5-star program. We currently have 5 classrooms, 3 regular ed, 1 special, and 1 integrated. We currently have 72 scholars in that preschool program. This year we did start taking 3-year-olds. So we do have 3-year-olds in the program. We are a universal site, and we have a partnership with Invest in Children and Starting Point. Our lead teacher, Ms. Ortiz, does go to the first ring leadership meeting with other lead teachers in the pre-K, collaborating with what's going on in the mission for back to the district. All of the scholars go twice a month to religion for gross motor activity, so we have a partnership there. And something exciting that we're looking forward to in the future, as you'll hear later on, all of our all of our kindergarten through 3 teachers are currently in or have completed the letters training. So next year, at the end of this year, beginning of next year, our pre-K teachers are going to go through that. We want to make sure that we're all flying science reading. So that is something that we're looking forward to in preschool, as well as we have 4 teachers in pre-K and kindergarten, 2 of them going through PBIS training right now to develop the team that will be at the early learning center next year. So having that foundation. In kindergarten, we have a partnership with the Warrensville Library. We try to go at least once a month, if not more. They're not only doing literacy activities like reading a book, but they're also doing literacy activities and putting it into a craft or doing other activities there. We have a partnership that comes out weekly through PEP, working with behavior specialist, Ms. Gina, who works with the classroom teacher as well as small groups, again, on that social emotional learning. We want to make sure that is taken care of so we can get to,
All right, I'm going to talk very briefly about our 3rd grade OST scores. We are so excited about the progress that our scholars are making. The red is indicative of our students who are below grade level, and the green symbolizes our students who are at or above grade level. And this year, 27% of our students, the highest it's been in the last 2 years. With the first round of the OSC test, they were at 27%. 27% of them were at or above grade level. And be mindful that we take the test, the reading portion of the test, twice a year. And of course, the goal is that all of our scholars will pass the 3rd grade test. And the 3rd grade guarantee is back in effect now. So our wheels are turning, and we are definitely working hard. Later on in the slide or in the presentation, we'll talk about in the 9, but we're definitely making sure that our planning, the time that we spend throughout the course of our school day, is intentional so that we can make sure that our students meet the expectations of the 3rd grade guarantee. In the 9 is the time where our teachers spend an hour out of their school day. It says no new instruction, and during that time, they are reinforcing skills that they've already taught our scholars. We are honing in on small groups. We're giving those very intense interventions to make sure that our students are getting the information that they need. Next slide. All right, and so this is a breakdown of the limited, basic, proficient, accomplished, and advanced areas that the OSC scores our scholars in. And again, the numbers this year are very promising. 45% of our students were limited as opposed to previous years. 55%, 53%, 54%. So we're excited to see the growth that our kids are making. 28% are basic as opposed to the other years. 14% is kind of the same as our students are proficient. And then we have 7% that are accomplished advanced. So we are excited about these numbers. It's trending in the right direction. So we can't wait to see what the outcome is at the end of the school year.
All right. While we were at the 3rd grade reading guarantee information, I do want to highlight that these scholars have been in 3rd grade for about 55 days before they were actually tested on full 3rd grade standards. So I am excited to see what our 3rd grade team will do, including the teachers, the scholars, as well as the parents on our spring OST. So our district, Warrensville Elementary School, participates in the CLSD grant, and so this is just another opportunity to help us focus in on literacy and increase our literacy. It provides us with resources as well as tools for our tool belt as we grow our scholars. That includes the literacy
as well as some teachers. We have the advantage of meeting with Dr. Anita Archer and some other people from the ESC to kind of help us hone in on literacy strategies, best practices, and bring that back to the building and implement it with development. We also have the opportunity to take advantage of the Writing Revolution book study, which Ms. McDaniel is also participating in. Explicit instruction, which I mentioned with Dr. Anita Archer. And then a content literacy integration applied tech set. Our 4th grade and 5th grade ELA teachers are taking advantage of that. So they can go to the ESC, learn about using applied text and integrating English and social studies so that we maximize the time that we have with our scholars as we teach them. As one of the ladies already stated, K-3 teachers are either completed or going through the letters training process. And the letters is just a way to help our teachers learn how to teach early literacy to our scholars. Very strategic, very research-based. It is different from how we learn. The joy of seeing that we are all learning as our teachers are going through. We are having aha moments. We are teaching kids how to read, how to break down. So it's beyond memory. It's teaching them the core values of literacy. In 5th grade, our scholars had the opportunity to perform in front of their families at Warrensville High School Elementary School in November 22 for dancing classrooms. So dancing classrooms came into our building, and during their special time, they got to practice. So in the King's video, you saw some jump ropes, so they learned different types of dancing, salsa, all types of dancing, using all types of music. So it was a great opportunity to expose them to all the different things that's out there. So they were learning dance and they were learning music, but they also learned the origination of those different dances from different countries, Italy, and things of that nature. So they do have another opportunity to perform at Tri-C in April. So we are looking forward to that. We are also a part of the Warrensville High School TSL grant. Victoria Privet is one of the leaders who is taking us through. We have 2 teachers, Dr. Ruth and Crawford, actually, who's participating in an Aspire and Leaders program. So those are like our model teachers. We do have opportunities to have some tag outs, so we can go to different rooms and see teachers teach the pull back from best strategies for them to use in their classrooms as well. And then we have the current leaders program, which myself and Ms. Urban is a part of. Just grades K-5 what's going on in Warrensville High Elementary School. As they already mentioned, we do have the NNI block built into our schedule. I think it is very important, very beneficial, because the reality tells us that with COVID and before COVID, we do have scholars who are performing below grade level. And it is very important in grades K-3, because if we want to turn our triangle upside down, and what that means is have less intervention and more enrichment, we have to fill in those holes and those gaps. So that NNI time gives us the opportunity to do that. What else is happening in Warrensville High School? Our teachers get the opportunity to meet twice a week for TBT and data meetings, so they get to come together as a team and kind of talk about what's happening, looking at the data, what are we doing, what assessments are we using. We have a system throughout the district called Branch and Minds. That is our MTSS system, so that's the multi-tier system, which everything goes into there. So teachers are into referrals, behavior referral that goes in there. Our data goes in there as well. Next slide. Our data goes in there as well. We use attainment for our universal screener. So every scholar in our building, new scholars coming in, they get attainment tested. We use that attainment data to form our NNI group. So it's very intentional on what's happening. Those scholars who are in the red, they get progress monitored bi-weekly, so we get to see if those interventions are working. So I like to look at the Branch and Minds as the my chart of Cleveland. That's the place you go, you kind of log in, kind of see everything that's happening. And that is our MTSS system, Branch and Minds. We also use iReady for our reading diagnostic as well as our universal screener. So iReady is taken 3 times a year. We just did it the 2nd time, and so I don't have the visual data to show you because we are actually iReady testing right now. Benchmark is grades 3 through 5. We do use that, and we make sure that it mocks our OST. Yes.
This is the highlight of my weekday at the elementary school. Mrs. Thompson gave it to me upon me entering, and I've been excited to see the different things that we have going on for the building. Girl Scouts, can you help me just a little bit with the second pledge? So every day, send up ladies, every day, next slide please, every day we go through, we say this in our classrooms, we say it throughout our building, we actually sit on our morning announcement. So let's start. Are you ready? Next slide, please. 1, 2, ready, begin. I pledge to myself on this day to be my best in every way. Whatever I do, big or small, I will strive to live my own. I'm a tiger, hear me roar. We are tigers, we stand for D, personal responsibility. R, respect. I, integrity. E, discipline. E, engagement. Tigers, stir. Good job, ladies. Good job. Fantastic. So this goes on throughout our entire building. And PBIS is another research-based program that we use. It's positive behaviors, prevention, and support. And so what we do is we try to, well, what we do, we don't try to. We create a culture in our building where our students know that it's okay to make mistakes, but we make sure that we reward the positive behaviors that we see. Twice a month they have like a Hallmark that they come to, and they're able to spend the bucks that they get for the positive behaviors that they get throughout we can see them walking on the right side of the hallway, and they'll get a follow-up. Or some things are going on in their classroom, their teachers will give them follow-up. They have the opportunity to come to the store, and you'll be surprised at how much they save. They want to save so they can get the big stuff, or they want to spend it all and they leave away with candy, but it provides them with a sense of owning their behaviors. We make sure that they're responsible for their behaviors. We just got our TFI back from the state support team. They come around and they just kind of look to see how we're implementing PBIS in our building, and we are doing an amazing job with that. And so we just try to make sure that our culture in the building is one where students feel valued, teachers as well. We hold one another accountable for the things that we do as adults, and we also hold ourselves accountable.
All right, here's just a snippet of some of the after-school programs that we have right now. We're offering chess, drama club, Sisters with Purpose, our STEAM team, Girl Scouts, band, arts, therapy, golf, choir, ballet, and then we have our YMCA active in our building. Next. And here are just a few pictures of our Girl Scouts doing some community service. They are always doing something to earn those lovely badges that they are wearing.
Okay.
Next slide is our chess club. So our scholars love playing chess. Right now, Mr. Jones is actually trying to reach out to Hawkins to see if we can go over to play a game of chess with their scholars, because our scholars are playing each other, but they're also learning strategies. Mm-hmm. They're mastering each other's strategies. Mm-hmm. So now it's time to kind of take it out and play somebody else. Yeah. Next slide. This is Sisters with Purpose. It's the after-school program, all girls group, where they are cooking together, making bracelets together, doing a lot of different things together. Mm-hmm. And then you see this type of behavior flourish within the building. They are building a community of being sisters with purpose. Mm-hmm. So, last but not least, I just wanted to shout out our parent partnership. They are the best. We are growing in that area. We have a 3-day action team. We use monthly in person and online to plan parent engagement opportunities inside the classroom and outside the classroom. So that's going really well. Our PTO is up and running, and I'm super excited about that. Coach Shaw is leading that. Right now, they are currently running our concession stand for the middle school games, and with plans of that money being to support something for Teacher Appreciation Week, as well as our field day for scholars in May. So we are up and running, and hopefully we've learned some things about our scholars, our staff, as well as the things that's happening at one time. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Ms. Thompson. Ms. Thompson, I have a quick question. Out of the 918 students, scholars that we have, what is the ratio per classroom?
I'm glad you asked. I thought about that in the car. So I was looking at our classroom ratios, and they're all in the low 20s. First grade is the grade level, I think, that is hitting about 23
Okay.
But yeah, we are maintaining all our low staff to solid ratio. And then definitely in those number grades, where the foundation really matters, we have paraprofessionals in our preschool classroom as well as in the kindergarten classroom.
Oh, okay, fantastic.
Yes.
Question: what would you say? What percentage would you say our enrollment has increased? I'm assuming it's increased, or did we see a decrease this year?
No, we
About the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
That first grade class is a very large class.
Okay.
It's at like 77 somewhere around here. Scholars in that first grade class, and they came to kindergarten last year. That time.
Okay.
So
Good.
we maintain.
And then just a quick comment, kudos. So as you know, my granddaughter is there.
Yeah.
And she's a lot like her dad, except she loves going to school. So dad was not a fan. And I think that's the hardest part, is getting them to like going to school. So I just want to thank you guys for everything that you're doing with the preschool program. I definitely see her growing as a young lady because she is pretty shy. But she gets up every morning and she says, "Grandma, how do I look? I'm getting ready to go to school." So yeah, you guys are doing a great job. Thank you for the presentation.
One more question.
Yes.
And I keep looking at that 918, and I'm trying to figure out what area can we plug in extra help. Let me ask you about your lunchtime, your recess. How are you guys managing that with 918 students? Do you need help in that area, or are you able to manage in that area?
So let me say, Mrs. Thompson never turns down help.
Okay. But I'm gonna ask, if I get help, it's got to be the seniors. I'm with a senior group, and what hours are we talking about?
So our lunch periods start at 11:20.
11:20.
And ends at 1:30. And so here's how we do it. Pre-K goes first.
Okay.
And they're just a little bit earlier.
Okay.
And then after that, kindergarten, first grade, they each together.
Okay.
And so we do have paraprofessionals in that grade level.
Mm-hmm.
So our paraprofessionals are assigned to a classroom.
Okay.
To monitor the scholars that they eat. We do have cafeteria monitors.
Okay.
Who are in the cafeteria, making sure the kids go to the line, have a seat, eat their lunch. We have half of the grade levels at recess for 2 minutes, and the other half will eat lunch, and then we swap.
Okay.
And so then the next one is at 12:05, and that's our 4th and 5th grade group. And once again, 4th grade is eating lunch, while 5th grade is at recess. And so I am very proud to say that we do employ some Warrensville high school seniors to assist for our recess time. And so they're in there. My assistant principals are also in there facilitating recess, and then we have a culture coach and one of our security officers who are also involved in recess. And then the last period is our 2nd and 3rd grade. So one is at lunch, one is at recess.
So you guys are able to manage that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And if I recall correctly, there were quite a few issues with recess. So obviously you guys have made some changes because the emails, the complaints aren't coming in. So kudos again.
Yeah,
for identifying
that SEL part is important because what we tend to forget is that we can't say COVID. Right. It did. Yeah. And when COVID happened, kids did not have the opportunity to play and enjoy company for a large period of time. And some of these 5, 6, 7-year-old life, they were at home. They didn't go to the grocery store for fear of going outside. They didn't go to the birthday party. They didn't do things, socialize with their friends, make new friends, because we were also, contained. So when they came together, and the kids and the issues that we have, it's not malicious. It's just, I want to play, and this is how I play. But when I hit you, I was taught to hit back. And so there's a lot of things that we have to, that we're not done with, unpack and help our scholars. And I call it code switch. Because if you are at home and you're on the street and you have to do whatever you have to do to keep yourself safe, that's one thing. But right here in Wisconsin, you're surrounded by adults and other people who can help you. So here's how you ask for help. Here's if somebody hit you, use your words. So we are still unpacking those things, and that's a huge contribution to less problems, but also employing those high schoolers and keeping our assistant principals as well as our coaches involved in recess.
Okay. And you're helping the high school out too because you're establishing leadership qualities with them too. So that's a win-win. Yeah. Good job. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you
job,
guys. For
guys.
the great
Thank
work.
you.
All righty. Well, that was a great meeting. Next on our agenda is item 1.9. And we're going to go into the board reports. And I do understand one of the committees has a brief update to share with the board.
Do you want to do it?
I'll defer to you if you want. Doesn't matter to me either way.
Yeah, you can chime in or correct me. So I'll just make it really brief. It was the naming committee that met for the different areas within the different buildings, the new buildings that we have. I think it was a good meeting. We've got myself, Mr. Roberts, Karen House from the city, Mr. Jolly and Savannah. And we came up with some pretty good ideas. There was something thrown out there on social media to kind of gather some input from individuals. But I think collectively, even with just that first meeting, we came up with some really good suggestions that we'll be bringing to you of people for the different ones. So what we're looking at is either the building itself as well as the rooms. For instance, what did we say? The auditorium or concession stand. So those were some of the areas that we were looking at. Do you want to add anything to that, Mr.
No, ma'am. That was very, very thorough.
Oh, thank you.
I do want to add that we probably, the committee will be bringing some names, I would say, in the next few months.
Oh, okay.
In preparation for the opening of the new school.
All right.
And that was one question
in February, right?
That
Yeah,
was,
we meet February.
that was a question I had. What's the timeline for construction so that if we're going to do the names that we're in time to have
Before March.
Before March, okay.
Yep. So we got to get it done. So.
Okay.
I do have a quick question for Mimi and Vice President Roberts. Are we still doing our booklet? Where we had on the booklet that we had OSBA help us with?
Our booklet? What booklet? I'm sorry.
Remember you
The
guys were
handbook.
putting?
A handbook.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Handbook, not booklet. Handbook.
Oh, the handbook is done.
It's already done.
Is that what you're asking?
Mm.
Oh yeah, we finished that and board approved it last year. If not yet. Yeah. So it's
And
done.
where's that placed at?
It's on in board docs. Yeah, it's in board docs.
It's okay on the site.
I just never seen it, but I seen the rough copy. I didn't see the finish. Okay.
Girl, y'all having a hard copy?
I guess we did.
We
Thank
didn't do hard copies, so we just put it online, and there may even be a link to it on the website. I don't know, but I do know that it's definitely in board docs.
Yeah, we can do it. Well, we can.
All right. Thank you so much for the update.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is item 1.10, superintendent report.
And I'm gonna ask the board if I can pass on my report today. Due to all the reports, they pretty much did my
Well,
report.
I guess.
They definitely,
You were pretty thorough.
I mean, they were definitely reports. Those were gonna be my
Those were all
reports.
really good. So I will say the
Really
reports
good.
that you had were informative. They were enlightening. I'm just really pleased to see the direction that we're heading.
Yeah. Yeah. So tonight, they did my report, human resources, school, Barber College, and so forth. Just on construction though, we still on pace, we still on time, in both projects, the school and the church. So both of those we still monitoring, but we still on time, still on budget at this point. So we're monitoring those budgets. Again with the high school, there is a lot going on with the high school, but we still on budget. And the church, we have some things we got to price is the parking lot. We did not put that in the price with the contract. Parking lot was excluded from that. So we got to get the parking lot done. And then also there's some other things that were not in that contract, namely the cross on the top. We still got to discuss that also. Or how that's in this excluded clause. And also the bridge was not part of that contract. So the bridge, the parking lot, and some other things that we got to finish. So we'll be getting on that to you soon. They're supposed to finish that on June 1st. Supposedly when we get the keys to the church. So technically we got to plan 2 grand openings this fall too. So go from there.
Awesome.
So, Mr. Jolly, what are you? Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Mr. Jolly, what you saying that the cross is going to stay up there until the end of?
We got to discuss.
No, we have to discuss.
Not just
that.
a discussion.
Yeah, I understand what I kind of know what we have to do.
Okay.
I know we have to do. So
Okay.
we're just discussing our next date, but just we know we have to do about that.
Okay.
And get prices to do that.
So, do you see there being one grand opening that includes the middle school and high school, or do you see those being separate?
No, the middle and high school will be one. And then the
elementary,
early childhood center will be another. Okay, we should have two. Yeah, we will have to. And then the final roar, we're really trying to promote the final roar. So I ended up with a report, the final roar.
Right.
But we really want to promote the final roar. Last 4 days of people being active in that building. Starting on May 26th, with May 25th, which is a tour of the building. May 26th, which is the basketball game. May 27th, which is the final dance. And also there'll be alumni choir and band performance. May 27th, which is Sunday, will be an all-class picnic at the elementary school behind the school basketball courts. They're securing, they'll start selling tickets soon. They don't have a DJ low key. The other ones, their prominent DJs will be prominent at the game. The game is against Shaw. There will be two different games. It'll be an old man game and a young man game. So it'll be, think class of 97 and under, then class of 97 and younger against Shaw's class.
Same thing.
And which same thing also. So it should be an exciting weekend to close the high school. I think momentum is getting higher for people getting excited about coming back. So we should have a good experience.
You guys still doing committee meetings on that?
Yeah, we still have committee. They're online. So they're on Zoom, so we can send invites if anybody wants to sit in on them. But they're online. They're by Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those meetings are right. Because we have a committee, a wide range of committee. Some people live in town and some people don't. And we got some, Miss Mitchell sits on that. There's somebody who's like class of 70 something, like 71 or 2 or something, active at all of me. So
it's a wide range.
And I think next what the committee's gonna do is like shoot little short videos to try to encourage people. I have people on the committee send in a video, sort of like Miss Lewis did on that video. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have people say come to the final war.
When is the next meeting? Do you know?
They didn't plan it yet.
Oh.
So they sent out a doodle and then people sign up for when the meeting is.
Good stuff.
So that concludes my report.
All righty. Pretty high impact meeting so far. All right. Now to the business of the district. If we can please have a motion to approve items 2.1 and 2.2 by consent agenda, the treasurer's report, and financial recommendations.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve as a consent agenda items 2.1 and 2.2.
May I have a second?
A second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Jolly, could you give us a little bit of background on the donation, please?
So the donation was sent to Miss Roach, our art teacher, and it was just a donation of like they gave $500 for her to get materials for her class.
Okay, all right, very good.
So she has good relationships with different vendors, and they're not a vendor, but just for us having that relationship, family business, and actually it's her family business. Her family.
Oh man, that's really nice. Okay, that's nice. Okay.
If there's nothing else, Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 5-0. All right, next up, can we please have a motion to approve by consent agenda superintendent's recommendation and presentation for board action certificated staff, and that would be items 3.1 and 3.2.
Madam Chair, I'd like to Move on. Number 3, superintendent recommendation presentation for board action certified staff 3.1 through 3.2.
I have a second. Thank you. Are there any questions or discussion on either of these?
Yeah, Mr. Jordan, is Rachel Quentin, is she retiring? She done retired already?
No, she didn't retire. She left us. Miss Queenman. She left us, but there was some things going on with like unemployment and different things, so we held her on. We didn't pay the unemployment though.
So this
We've replaced her already.
Oh, okay. Because the effective date was last year.
Yes.
22.
It was. She resigned on that day, but there was some employment issues with her,
Oh, okay.
and so we had to wait till all that was cleared out before we could accept her resignation.
Understood.
But she didn't get paid or anything. She was like on a suspended status.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to also recognize the return of Mr. Antonio Coleman. He was our track coach years ago when we had state champions. He went on to coach college, and the college program shut down. So he's returning back to us. So that's a great hire for the district.
That's a great hire.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
And then also our middle school cheerleader. It's a great honor to see that they're former cheerleaders that Coach Nikki coached, that's coaching in middle school. So we're setting up that pipeline of our students coming back, giving back, and the program being a succession. So actually, Coach Swift is actually coaching the middle school team now. He's coaching 8th grade team. So again, getting the middle school together and move to high school.
Hold on. Coach Swift, Brian Swift?
Brian Swift.
Middle school?
Middle school, 8th grade.
Okay. He's getting them ready for high school.
Yeah, he's coaching 8th grade.
So how is that working? Has that come to the board for approval?
It hasn't. It'll be coming. There was another coach. There's some situations with her and Coach Swift taking on.
Gotcha.
So that could.
Okay. All righty. There's no further discussion. Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion passes 5-0. All right, next on our agenda, if I could please have a motion to approve by consent agenda, superintendent's recommendation and presentation for board action classified staff, and that's going to be 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept as a consent agenda superintendent's recommendations and presentations for board action classified staff, items 4.1 through 4.3.
May I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Any discussion on this board?
No, ma'am.
All right, hearing none, Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll?
Yes.
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 Yes, motion passes 5-0. All right, next on our agenda is item 5. If I can please have a motion to approve by consent agenda, superintendent's recommendations and presentations for personnel and programs. That's going to be items 5.1 through 5.15.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move on tonight's agenda. Item number 5, the superintendent recommendation and presentation for personnel and programs. Looking for item 5.1 through 5.15.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. There is a couple of these on here that I'm sure there will be some conversation and questions about. Mr. Jolly, I saw you had your hand up.
Yeah, I want to 5.14. I want to amend. The dollar amount should say 0.
Which one, Mr. Jones?
5.14. The roar.
Oh, 5.1.
I would bring. We just need the program approved. I would bring the names of the instructor or the facilitators to the next one.
Okay.
So we really need to amend the motion. We have to, because we're changing the document. We're changing the dollar amount.
Yeah, the dollar amount is going to be zero. It's not $225.
Okay. All right, so if we can please rescind that motion and put a new motion on the floor to approve section 5, items 5.1 through 5.15 with the change on item 5.14, changing the dollar amount from $225 to $0.
Madam Chair, I'd like to rescind the motion for item number 5 and place a new actual motion for the superintendent's recommendation, presentation, and personnel and programs, looking for items 5.1 through 5.15 with changing the dollar amount on item 5.14 to 0 from $225 to 0.
Thank you, sir. May I have a second?
A second.
Thank you. All right, the floor is, I'm sorry, the floor is open for
I said I could
discussion.
go through them if people got questions as I go. So 5.1 is a standard annual review. Last year we did discuss it. Nothing changed at all. And these are two that we have to pass yearly. 5.2 is this is we have to require to use our Title I money to do tutoring for students who are out that's not in our district. So these scholars go to non-public schools. So this is the movement of Title I dollars to pay for that. 5.3 is the adjustment of the school calendar. This is the as we're changing the conferences, the conference dates. So before we had conferences every quarter. Now we're going to every semester, but we provide an evening and an all-day conference. I spoke to the board about this previously, about how short the conferences was. Parents didn't feel they had enough time to spend with the teachers. So our teachers are always in contact with our parents to remind different verses. But this allows them to schedule the conferences. So our teachers, they're scheduling. Actually, parents are getting appointments to meet with our teachers. 5.4 is the adoption of the approval of calendars for next school year starting on September 5th and next year of 2024-25. 5.5 is again a similar adjustment to agreement to provide tutoring. This is another vendor that one of these non-public schools use. 3.6 is a resolution to a suspension appeal in which the suspension was vacated by Ms. Rudolph, who serves as the board representation. So she had adequate evidence to vacate the suspension.
Okay. Can I ask a question about these? Because we get these all the time. What is our liability or our responsibility? I mean, because we don't know anything about what we are approving. I mean, no names, so I don't know what the. So what?
So I mean, as making us your representative, working through our legal counsel, there should be no liability because everything does go through legal, making sure that everything is done correctly and appropriately. So when you designate us as designate me or the designate, which we designate as Ms. Rudolph as the hearing officer, the assurance that all processes and procedures have been handled. If you would like more information on these, we can provide that for you.
Not necessarily. I mean, if we don't need to know, I just, yeah. I sometimes I feel like we're proving this blindly.
You don't know.
So.
But if any information is needed, we can provide that. It's a lot of people appeal. A lot of sometimes people appeal things.
But confidential rules fall in here.
Is that we cannot produce?
Absolutely, yes, yeah.
So, and we haven't had any legal action from any of these. Ever.
Yeah, I know. I was just as I was reading it over, I was like, it was just a question that popped in my mind. Thank you for clarifying.
5.7 is the College Tour to Central State. This is for our middle school students again. As we try to expose our students to different experiences, this is what allow us an opportunity. 5.8 is the vending contract. This is our first contract for a vending machine, to take a vending machine into Warrensville Elementary School. One of the things we found with our staff there that they had to leave the building to get pops, juices, snacks. In this contract, Mr. Valerie did come to the board in September.
Yeah.
He did present. He had presented to do it outside at the basketball courts, but I felt it was better if we did it inside in the teachers' lounge. So this contract is to the end of this school year, up to August 1st, and then he will come back with a different contract for next year. The board will receive 18% of the revenue. On a monthly basis, we would look at his profit because his books are open to us to designate how much we will receive from that contract. 5.9 is the ESC, the standard ESC contract that we use every year. 5.10 is the Cleveland Clinic agreement for them to do the EpiPens for any student that needs EpiPen. I don't know offhand how many students might need that in the district, but it's a good contract for us. 5.111 is the 2023-24 course of study. Again, this helps students pick their classes. We're in that season now where our kids start picking classes for next year. 5.12 is the Barber College. Barber students did come today. We did want to share how much it is per student. We do have it in quarterly payments. If the students do not finish or drop off the program, then we won't pay for those students. 5.13 is the rental agreement for the YMCA. And talking to our legal counsel, we were going to sponsor the students and membership, but our legal counsel said that that was not in the best interest of the district. So we're just paying a flat fee of $1,000 to pay for the room, which we'll use for 6 months, Monday through Friday from 10 to 12. 5.14 is just approving the program. This is $15. It's the same program we did at Westwood last year. We actually have the same instructor that we had at Westwood last year, and it'll be housed at the YMCA. And then 5.15, and I do appreciate the board paying this high cost for our young people to go to the Mardi Gras. In New Orleans, this pays for lodging and transportation for our band to participate. So that concludes that section. Any questions anyone might have?
So we are paying the 45,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
I have just one or two quick questions. The field trip for the middle school students.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it all middle school students? How many are going?
I believe it's like 50 that go.
How do we decide which students are going and which ones are
So,
not?
the middle school does it by interest. So they pretty much ask several of the kids who want to attend. And then I think some are drafted into going also. But it's interest. So we took kids to Buffalo, and then she takes them to Central State, but she does it by interest. Ms. Clark does a great job of finding where kids are interested and then providing opportunities for them to explore it. So it'll be kids that's interested, and then a few that's drafted.
That's an excellent idea. And then one other question, the course of study, did we add any new classes? Did we take anything off?
We didn't add any new classes. There's potential of us adding a drone class. They're just going through the process of figuring out, finishing, completing what that's look like. But we didn't add anything. It's the same course of study. But we are looking to add a drone class. We have a teacher that can teach a drone class. We're trying to get that hashed out. So that will be coming to the board once we add that course. Any questions? Any more questions?
Any additional questions?
I mean, and we would do a course of study on there. I thought we make sure you have it. So you have it.
All right, hearing none, Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Mrs. Gator?
Yes.
Mr. Moon?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, motion passes 5-0. All right, we have a bit of unfinished business. we are going to have each board member that attended the OSBA Capital Conference in November of last year provide a very brief update on classes that you felt really edified you as a school board member, things that we can look to potentially see about bringing to the district. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So I will say I wish that I saw a lot of things that we could bring to the district. What I found is a lot of the classes that I went to, we're already doing it. So it's not always about what you can bring to the district, but maybe there's one little thing that you can learn that will kind of help you with your professional development. So with Cube, I was pleasantly surprised with Cube. Only thing I didn't really care for is there was not enough learning sessions. One of the most profound speakers that I've ever heard was, let me see if I can get her name right, Reverend Nantami Naomi Tutu. She's Desmond Tutu's daughter, and she was the guest speaker. She was really good. I mean, she was comical because she tied in the African proverbs that her parents always threw at them. For instance, the child that does not cry dies on his mother's back. That was one that she talked about, and she was like, "Well, what exactly does that mean? Are you trying to tell me that they've had this child on their back for days and they never knew it?" So it was all the different proverbs, and she managed to bring them back around to, maybe race or gender or just humanity in general. So she was really good. And then the other one that I liked was Govern Like a Boss with Chanel Poe. Ray and I don't think we really agreed on this, but I did like it. I felt that she was interactive, engaging, and relatable. Hers was about empowering board members to understand the policies and practices that start with us as board members. Some of the things that she touched on was building relationships, being active in municipal activities, which is something that our president has been asking us to do quite a bit here lately, and allowing data to lead the conversation. So I was really proud of her because she's someone that I met when I first got on the board. She was a board member, but now she's no longer on her board and just wants to bring her experience to all of her fellow board members. Capital Conference, I can be really brief about that. I have to really give that one some thought in terms of whether or not I even want to go next year. I just didn't get a whole lot out of it. I'm just going to keep it real. The one that was the most memorable to me was that the local school district that did their presentation, and they're saying how great they're doing, but they didn't have any data to back it up. So as they're doing it, it's like, really? I mean, it just wasn't believable. So again, it goes back to what I was saying about how, not all these conferences are going to give us something that we can bring back to the district. But I did learn the importance, reiterated the importance, something that we're constantly trying to do, is to make decisions based on data. And honestly, that's fine. I'm good. I don't need to. There was one other one, but I totally agree with you. Yeah. It was. I mean, overall, Cube was good. Better than I expected. OSBA, not so much. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. You want to go ahead, Earl?
Yes, I will recap some of the classes and sessions that I attended during the Capitol Conference. So the first one I went to was called Designing for Equity in a Large School District. And even though we aren't a large school district, I just wanted to see the contrast in other districts that were building new facilities and the type of strategies that they were employing in order to compare to what we're doing here in Warrensville. They were using planning, designing, and purchasing strategy. They mentioned all of those things to give access to 21st century opportunities. So I was pay attention to the things that they were doing. They were focusing on replicated designs, support spaces, and up-to-date technology. And I felt good about the fact that, okay, our district, in putting together our new facilities are using all of these same concepts that were being used at these larger districts. So I just wanted to make sure that we were up to date with what was going on in other districts that were building new buildings at the same time that we were. And I came away like very satisfied with what we're doing in our district in contrast and comparison to some of what the larger districts were presenting. Went to a session on Ed Choice voucher litigation, and it's just where they gave an update, basically gave their opinion on the Ed Choice vouchers, which they, of course, they were not in favor of, and they were talking about litigation, them bringing lawsuits actually against the state in order to rescind these vouchers. I went to another session. It was called Coach Beyond. Kind of, I really enjoyed that one. It was athletically focused, and it was the Ohio High School Athletic Association and an organization called Life Sports that was partnering with Ohio State that has a program where they were training coaches on social emotional learning, which we heard about a lot about earlier today, which is very important. So they were training the coaches on social and emotional learning to improve the mental health and well being of student athletes. How to how they can identify these type of things, maybe like in athletes who may get injured during the season, or whose grades may be suffering and like that. And this seemed like a very good program, and it was they were talking about, instead of just always judging children on what they can do on the field and on the court, taking care of their them in total. And finally, I attended a session on district finances. It was called District Finances, Common Understanding and Messaging, and it was about the new state funding formula. How we our funding of the district. They talked about tax revenues and property values, and also they talked to board members about being good stewards of the district finances, and I found that one very beneficial as well. Madam Chair, that's all I have.
I will, there were a couple that stood out for me, but I will just, excuse me, I'm just going to pull up one to highlight. There was a course called Smarts, Engaging Students in District Improvement Projects, and it was a district in Toledo Public Schools who set up a group of students, grades 9 through 12, who were able to come together and have a voice. The acronym SMART stands for Students Making Achievements Right This Second. And the goal is to inspire, empower students to make changes. And basically, it is a group of students selected, and they have criteria, but it's students from all walks of life who are able to be a part of these groups. And the students come together. They have a program called 3 Stars and a Wish. And it's 3 things that they can work on and a wish that they could do projects. Again, selection criteria is based on just ensuring that the entire student population was represented. And the projects are something that run through the semester, and the kids are able to work together to resolve an issue. One of the groups focused on something that was going on in their cafeteria, and I will ask forgiveness, I don't remember specifically what it was, but they were able to work with each other as well as the teachers that were assigned to partner with them to come up with a plan to resolve what was going on, and they were able to implement it. And what I really liked about that particular session was it was 4 kids from Toledo that came down and presented, and it was nice hearing them share their stories of the impact that they were able to make on the school. It taught them the ability to work as a group, work in small groups. It taught them to think critically, how to resolve an issue, identify the problem, and resolve it. So I thought that was a really good session. There were a couple of others that I attended that were good as well. Most of the programs that I participated in were those that were involving student and parent involvement. And what we're doing in our district right now is really starting to bring our parents and students back to our board meetings. The other one that really stood out for me, and I know I talk about it all the time, is how do we get our students involved on our school board. We used to, our first term, first year, we had one student that would participate in our board members as a student voice. But this session at OSBA talked about how we not only have the kids participate on the board, but allow them to have a voice. They don't have a vote, but they do have a voice in some of the things that we discussed. So that's all for me.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to start first with the Ohio School Board Association. I feel a little bit like Mimi. I don't think they had a lot of sessions, but the sessions they did have, they had one out of Akron, Ohio. It's a district called Butler, and it had wide lead, and it was something like you said, Tracy. The board members, well, it was only 4 of the 5 there, but they talked about why would they leave, and they explained what can they do in that little small community of Butler County to make their school district better. They're somewhat suburban and rural, but they didn't have any engagement from the parents for their scholars or students, and they just gave, because most of these had seasoned, tenured board members. Each of these was like 6-7 years on the board, so they just gave a breakdown of why did they first get on the board, what do they do, and they just told the people in the room a little bit about Butler County. So I thought that was decent. But the best one I went to, and it's going to happen to our board, and we're going to have to deal with it in the near future. And I want to thank Dr. Rock for inviting me to a true win-win-win. It was a district out of here at Boardman Township, right out of Youngstown, where Dr. Rock is from. And their superintendent, Tim Sexton, had a elementary, a secondary school that was sitting blank for 8 years. It was just sitting there. And it's right on the highway as you come into Boardman. And they didn't know what to do. What was they going to do? So they talked to the city. They talked to the administrator, city of Boardman, Larry Montero, and they put together with their attorneys, and all 2 parties got together, and they found a way to take this building and make it into like a park for Boardman Township. And they didn't know what the cost was. They were just throwing it out there. They brought the science teachers for purposes of planting and what could they use it as, what kind of space. And what they found out, they got like $3 million in donations to help them, because it was gaining popularity, and it was on the TV. And these companies was reaching out from California and everywhere, even Apple. They was reaching out to donate money for that school district that turned it to an actual park for the city of Boardman. But I know me and Dr. Rock sat next to each other. I took a lot of points from that. We're going to have a couple buildings here very shortly, and we got to see what we want to do with them, with the suggestions of our superintendent, Dr. Rock, and our legal experts. But I thought that was the best one, a true win-win-win by them. So I think Tim Saxton, the superintendent, did a great job, and he brought his whole team. The city even had like their controller and everything come, and they was going piece by piece by piece. Even a vendor was there talking how it was to get the city and the school district together. So that was the best one from Ohio School Board Association. I did go to Cube. I had my last swan song. I didn't know if I was going to go, but I did go. I wanted to see what my old steering committee people were doing. They said it was over 700. It may have been, but my concern was, what sessions. As Mimi spoke, I did go to Chanel Poe actual session. She has calmed down. She's not as loud as she was. She don't yell as much, but I didn't get a lot out of it. What I did get out, and I've seen it before, but it's always good as a new board member to come back and understand what is your why. And I know me and Mimi passed it and we looked at it, but I went in there, Mimi, and it was decent. It was decent. What is your why? Because it puts perspective on a board member. Why do we do this? Why do we do this? And it's all about the scholars. It's all about the children. But I thought it was good because it was a bunch of rookies. And anytime you got a 1 or 2 year board member, like you can remember, Mr. Roberts, when you came on, they bright eyed. They want to know, and then they see the faces like, oh, I remember you. But it was good to see the young board members really engage. But the best thing I took out, and it's actually from Los Angeles Unified School District, along with a guy that we dealt with, Makai Ali in the Compton Unified School District. They call it Generational Green. They worked on a program with Los Angeles Unified, Compton Unified, and one other, and they put together a green space in what their schools. So they had this company come and look at the actual schools of each district, and they found green spaces, and they went out and acquired, I think it was like $8 million to help those 3 districts. And what they're doing is looking at the future to help those spaces in a public education space where they can have a generational green. But I thought that was a really good thing to actually go out, get the dollars, have a company come in and look where they can go in a district. And I know we're building new schools, but Superintendent Jolly, where they can find green spaces, and I'm sure we looked at that. So, but yeah, that was it for me, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So I have a question. Do you guys think that we would continue attending Q, especially since we're not members of NSBA anymore?
Or not?
Sure. Like they used to. Yeah. And then so then you wonder, the expense that we go to for that type of PD, and we're not really getting much from it. Yep. Okay.
Madam Chair,
Hold on, Miss Barbara was starting.
I just feel that we got to look at our priorities right now, and my priority is getting these schools built. I mean, Q. If you're telling me there's maybe 2 workshops, 2 or 3 workshops, and we flying all the way to Miami or California, all these different places. Come on now. Do we need to do all of that? When let us get the school built. Let us get whatever we need to make sure we have the funds to get these schools built. And I know Dr. Roxanne, we're looking good, but none of us can predict the future. So I'm just saying, let's not just. And you think about it, we only talking about 6 months or 8 months because the school should be built by then. Right, guys? No, I'm not saying that, but you're saying, asking me, she asked about Q.
No, I'm at list. My question is it still viable? Because listening to what we've said 2 years now, it's no longer viable.
Right.
So I just want us to, as a board, to agree it more than likely is not going to be viable to go to Cube anymore.
Madam Chair, my opinion is we have COSBA, which is aligned with our state board. I believe we should let NSBA go and just follow, align ourselves with COSBA. That would be my opinion.
Okay. I agree. Yeah.
There's no need to try to maintain both.
I agree. Is they in the state of Hawaii? Oh,
what COSBA?
What Q?
No.
COSBA is a consortium of state school boards, associations. It's totally different.
Oh, okay. Well, I can deal with that one. Right. But I'm not for Q, period.
Madam Chair,
Yes,
they are, NSBA is reaching out individually to boards and districts because now they're trying to scrap the registration requirement for each state. So now, as of December, you don't need to be actually your state association to be a member. So you can go to those. I'm not going to go no more because it's going to change. I mean, I just see it. I've been there 5 years. I served. It's going to change. And I think Mimi's seen it too, but it's about to change. And I don't want to be a part of it. And plus, me being the co-chair of the Urban Boards Alliance, we tell it all the states in, all 24. Tell your members you know, let's do this, because you have the executives for 24 states that used to be in NSBA, and they put in a lot of money, time. They just left Savannah. I didn't go because I wasn't going to Savannah, Georgia, but we're trying to get this off the ground to have just some other place other than the National School Board Association. So, I mean, I'm with Vice President Roberts. I mean, he been there. He had a good time, and it was all right. Mr. Jolly been there 3 or 4 times. I had to be a member, so I had to go because that's part of the agreement. Like with this thing, COSBA, I have to be at those events. I mean, but I want to give ours an opportunity. I mean, what we had in September, it was good. It was a good groundswell. You only think you have 300 people and 450 show up. And like with this one, we're almost sold out of the one-day event. We stocked it at 400. We had 3 something. So we're gonna be sold out of Tampa on our one day. So I don't know.
So that was my question. We had said this board member, we would let Dr. Rock know who from the board would go to the one day urban event, and then
the 2-day COSBA.
2-day COSBA.
Correct. No, that's correct.
What are the dates again, Ray? I'm
the
sorry.
date for the one day is March 30th, 2023. It's just 7 a.m. And I'll send you guys the schedule. It's just a one day, but we got some good dynamic Black women that's speaking. I mean, I've seen the lineup, and they got like 6 good ones beat me. So you talk about that one day, we're gonna fit a lot in that one day with these people that, you know, some good speakers. And I'll send you people. Yeah. They're going to actually do like sessions in the thing. They're just not you know, getting on the stage. I mean, my part is very limited. I just there's 3 people, but yeah, those are learning sessions. Yeah, but then the 2-day COSBA, I don't know what they bring because they didn't want me part of that. So I don't know what they bring it. I don't know what those sessions is. I don't know who the presenters is because they're trying to keep it separate. I understand it, so. But yeah, I would at least try to do COSBA, and then in August we're having our annual UBA. So we'll be in Chicago for the 24th and 5th, and in Chicago with Urban Boards Alliance.
So
and that'll be our annual.
So they're doing a one day and then an annual.
A 2-day annual in Chicago. And then comes to Cleveland in 25. It'll come here.
Okay. All right.
So 24 to go to Memphis. 25 will come to Cleveland, Ohio.
So, and I don't want to belabor the conversation.
Okay.
I personally am a little confused. I didn't realize that we were going to do 2 sessions a year.
No, it's going to be 1.
But you've got one on March 30th.
Because they had the time and they had the space, so they wanted us to fill it. Plus, we did so good with the September symposium. So when they looked at the symposium, like, well, you got almost 500 people. Why don't you do a one day? And it's almost booked out. We had 400, like 3 something.
So I guess my question is, where do we want to wait? Go to the 2-day event in the fall,
August,
or do we want to go to the one-day UBA event in March?
That's a good question. That's a great question.
Right. And
that March 30th, one day you saying, me?
It will probably be to our advantage.
One day, where is it at?
The one in March, we'll actually be attending 2 conferences. Like at one time, you know, the one day UVA and the 2-day COSBA. You know,
no.
If you decide to go,
I mean, but since they're consecutive and in the same place, to me that would be like more economical than going to
I agree.
that one there.
That's if people decide to stay for the other 2 days.
Yes, ma'am.
So back to the original question: who we need to let Dr. Rock know who's trapped, because the COSBA ends is it April 2nd or April 3rd?
No, it's March.
April.
It's March 20. You got to be in by March 26th.
No. What is the last? It's 2 days, so it's March 31st and April 1st.
Oh no! I'm sorry. COSBA is April 1st and 2nd, right? April 1st and 2nd.
Oh, so then you got a down day.
No,
they're consecutive.
March 30th and then April 1st and 2nd.
I'm so confused. There's 31 days in March.
Ours is the 30th and then the 1st.
Then it's consecutive. Then it's March 31st and 1st.
Yeah.
I didn't see it that way. Maybe it's
a
2-day.
They were consecutive.
Okay. All right.
I'm looking them up now, but it was consecutive. It was like
I
one
thought it was back to back. I know they would be consecutive. So right now, Mimi, Earl, are you gonna go?
Oh yes, ma'am.
And it's where again, Ray?
It's in Tampa, Florida, at the Tampa Convocation Center.
Can you put Tracy as a question mark?
And you can put Miss Moomin as a no.
Yeah, so COSPA is March 31st.
Right, there you
Sunday,
go.
April 2nd.
Yeah, it's 3.
Yeah, so it's
But that,
UBA
I think
is
that
Thursday,
right
March
Saturday.
30th, and then the 31st through the 2nd is
Y'all
COSPA.
keep wasting money. I don't think we're wasting money. I do.
I disagree.
Barbara don't like
It's
traveling,
okay.
so.
It's okay to disagree.
I would.
All I want is right now. I want to see those schools built, and then you all can go wherever you want.
We will agree to disagree, and we're going to move forward. We've got 3 yeses and a maybe, 1 no. Dr. Rock, we don't have any new business. Do we have any correspondence? All right, Mr. Jolly, do we have any announcements?
No announcements.
All right,
Madam Chair, did you want to talk to the board about that Monday meeting or no? The workshop?
Oh, I think some of us have registered for it. I'm registered.
I know
for
you
it.
are.
Mimi's registered for it.
You are too, Mimi? Okay.
That's the meeting next Monday at Shaker.
It's
Heights.
free, Barbara, and it's right at Shaker High School.
I know. I saw that. I got something already planned.
I'm messing with you.
Are you gonna go, Earl?
Yeah. It's at 6 o'clock.
The meeting at Shaker.
When I looked at the date, I had a conflict.
Oh, okay. So it's 3 of us, so that'll be there. That's fine. All right. Well, if nothing else, we had a great meeting tonight. Great discussion. It was good to see so many people in the audience. I know it was a long night, so thanks for hanging in there, everybody. Yeah, if I could please have a motion on the floor to approve adjourn tonight's meeting. May I have a second?
And I second.
Our meeting is adjourned. Please turn your mics off.